Hello, and welcome to this special space where we explore the art of living with greater clarity, calm, and resilience. If you're here, it's likely because you're curious about how to strengthen your mind and enrich your life. And that's exactly what we'll be diving into today: how to become mentally stronger through the timeless practices of meditation, Buddhism, and mindfulness. I'm so grateful to have you joining me on this journey. Whether you've stumbled upon this video by chance or sought it out intentionally, know that you are exactly where you need to be right now. This isn't just another self-help talk, it's an invitation to slow down, reflect, and connect with yourself in a deeper way. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, scattered, or disconnected. We juggle responsibilities, chase goals, and often find ourselves caught up in cycles of stress and worry. But what if there was a way to cultivate inner peace, or no matter what's happening around you? What if you could develop mental strength, not as a shield against life's challenges, but as a source of wisdom and compassion that helps you navigate them with grace? That's where meditation, Buddhism, and mindfulness come in. These ancient practices aren't reserved for monks or spiritual gurus. They're practical tools designed to help ordinary people like you and me live more fulfilling lives. Together, we'll uncover how these teachings can support your mental well-being, reduce stress, and empower you to face life's ups and downs with greater ease. This video is structured into 10 chapters, each building on the last. We'll start by exploring what it truly means to be mentally strong, then dive into the foundations of Buddhism, the power of meditation, and the transformative practice of mindfulness. Along the way, we'll address common struggles like negative thinking patterns, stress, and anxiety, while offering actionable steps to integrate these practices into your daily routine. Whether you're completely new to these concepts or already familiar with them, my goal is to make this content accessible, relatable, and impactful for everyone. Think of this as a safe space to pause, breathe, and reconnect with yourself. There's no pressure to get it right or achieve anything specific. We're simply here to explore and grow together. Before we move forward, take a moment to settle in, maybe adjust your posture, take a deep breath, and let go of any tension you might be holding on to. You deserve this time for yourself. As we embark on this journey, I want to remind you that becoming mentally stronger isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about showing up for yourself, even in small ways, and trusting that those efforts will ripple outward, positively affecting every area of your life. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to invest in your well-being. Let's begin this exploration together, one mindful step at a time. Chapter 1. What does it mean to be mentally strong? When we hear the phrase mental strength, many of us might picture someone who never feels stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed. Someone who always has it all together, no matter what life throws their way. But here's the truth. Mental strength doesn't mean being immune to difficult emotions or situations. In fact, true mental strength lies in embracing those challenges, not avoiding them, and learning how to respond to them with wisdom and resilience. Let's break this down further. Mental strength is about cultivating qualities like focus, patience, self-awareness, and compassion. It's about recognizing when you're feeling triggered or reactive and choosing to pause instead of lashing out. It's about understanding that setbacks don't define you, they refine you. And most importantly, it's about realizing that you have the power to shape your mindset and reactions, even in moments of adversity. Now, why does this matter? Because life is unpredictable. No matter how carefully we plan or prepare, there will always be curveballs, unexpected changes, disappointments, losses, or conflicts. Without mental strength, it's easy to feel knocked off balance, consumed by fear, anger, or despair. But with mental strength, you can weather these storms with greater stability and perspective. One of the key insights from Buddhism is that suffering is an inherent part of life. The Buddha taught that pain itself is unavoidable. Whether it's physical pain, emotional pain, or the discomfort of change. However, much of our suffering comes not from the pain itself, but from how we relate to it. For example, resisting reality, clinging to expectations, or ruminating on past hurts only amplifies our pain. Mental strength then involves learning to accept life as it is, not because it's perfect, but because fighting against it only drains our energy and clouds our judgment. Meditation plays a crucial role in developing this acceptance. Through regular practice, you train your mind to observe thoughts and emotions without getting swept away by them. Imagine sitting by a riverbank watching leaves float downstream. Some leaves represent joyful thoughts, others represent worries or frustrations. Instead of jumping into the river and trying to control the current, you stay grounded on the bank, observing without attachment. Over time, this practice helps you detach from unhelpful thought patterns and respond to life with greater clarity. Mindfulness complements this process by anchoring you in the present moment. So often, our minds drift into the past or future, dwelling on regrets or anxiously anticipating what's to come. Mindfulness gently brings you back to now, reminding you that this moment is all you truly have. By focusing on the here and now, you reduce unnecessary mental clutter and create space for intentional action. Another aspect of mental strength is emotional regulation. This means acknowledging your feelings without letting them dictate your behavior. For instance, if someone cuts you off in traffic, you might feel a surge of irritation. Without mental strength, you might honk aggressively or spiral into negativity. With mental strength, however, you recognize the emotion, allow it to pass, and choose a calmer response. This ability to regulate emotions not only benefits you, but also improves your relationships with others. Building mental strength also requires consistency. Just like physical fitness, it takes regular effort to see results. This doesn't mean you need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Small, sustainable habits, like setting aside 5 minutes a day for meditation, practicing gratitude, or pausing before reacting, can lead to profound changes over time. The key is to approach this process with curiosity rather than judgment. Celebrate your progress, learn from setbacks, and trust that every step counts. Ultimately, mental strength empowers you to live authentically. It allows you to align your actions with your values, communicate honestly, and pursue meaningful goals. It gives you the courage to face uncertainty and the resilience to bounce back from failure. And perhaps most importantly, it fosters a sense of inner peace that remains steady regardless of external circumstances. But let's go deeper. What does mental strength look like in everyday life? Picture someone dealing with a high-pressure work environment. They might feel overwhelmed by deadlines, conflicting demands, and long hours. Without mental strength, they could succumb to stress, burnout, or frustration. But with mental strength, they approach each challenge methodically. They prioritize tasks, set boundaries, and take breaks to recharge. When setbacks occur, they view them as opportunities to learn rather than reasons to give up. Their focus remains on solutions rather than problems. Similarly, consider someone navigating a personal relationship fraught with tension. Perhaps they've had an argument with a loved one. Without mental strength, they might react impulsively, saying things they later regret, or shutting down entirely. With mental strength, they pause, reflect, and choose their words carefully. They listen actively, empathize with the other person's perspective, and express themselves honestly yet kindly. This approach not only resolves conflicts more effectively, but also strengthens the bond between both parties. The beauty of mental strength is that it applies universally. Whether you're facing a minor inconvenience or a major life crisis, these principles hold true. The tools we'll explore throughout this video, rooted in meditation, Buddhism, and mindfulness, are designed to equip you with the skills needed to thrive in any situation. For example, meditation teaches you to sit with discomfort rather than avoid it. When you meditate, you often encounter restlessness, boredom, or even resistance. Instead of giving up, you acknowledge these sensations and return your breath. The simple act builds discipline and trains your mind to handle challenges with equanimity. Over time, this translates into real-world resilience. You become better equipped to tolerate uncertainty, manage stress, and maintain composure under pressure. Buddhism offers additional guidance through its teachings on impermanence and interconnectedness. Everything in life is transient. Joy, sorrow, success, failure, all of it passes. By internalizing this truth, you develop a healthier relationship with change. Instead of clinging to fleeting pleasures or fearing inevitable losses, you embrace the ebb and flow of existence. This perspective reduces anxiety and fosters a sense of freedom. Interconnectedness, another cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy, reminds us that we're all part of a larger web of life. Your actions ripple outward, affecting others in ways you may not immediately see. This awareness cultivates empathy and responsibility. When you act with kindness and integrity, you contribute positively to the collective whole. Conversely, harmful actions harm not just others but yourself as well. Understanding this dynamic motivates you to live consciously and compassionately. Mindfulness ties everything together by grounding you in the present moment. It's easy to get lost in regrets about the past or fears about the future. Mindfulness pulls you back to the here and now, where life actually unfolds. By staying present, you engage more fully with whatever you're doing, whether it's having a conversation, eating a meal, or simply breathing. This presence enhances your experiences, deepens your connections, and sharpens your focus. As you can see, mental strength isn't a singular trait. It's a collection of skills and attitudes that work synergistically. Each component reinforces the others, creating a robust framework for navigating life's complexities. Meditation sharpens your awareness, Buddhism provides philosophical context, and mindfulness anchors you in the moment. Together, they form a powerful toolkit for personal growth. Reflecting on this, it's worth asking yourself, where do I stand in terms of mental strength? Am I quick to react or slow to respond? Do I dwell on negative thoughts or let them pass? Am I present in my daily interactions or distracted by multitasking? These questions aren't meant to judge, but to illuminate areas for improvement. Everyone has room to grow, and that's perfectly okay. The journey toward mental strength is ongoing, and every step forward matters. In the chapters ahead, we'll delve deeper into these practices, providing practical techniques and insights to help you integrate them into your life. From exploring the foundations of Buddhism to mastering the art of mindfulness, each chapter will build upon the last, guiding you steadily toward greater mental fortitude. So, as we conclude this introduction to mental strength, remember this: you already possess the seeds of resilience within you. They may be buried beneath layers of conditioning, doubt, or fear, but they're there. With patience, practice, and persistence, you can nurture those seeds until they blossom into a strong, stable, and compassionate version of yourself. Keep going. You're capable of more than you realize. Chapter 2: The Foundations of Buddhism. To truly understand how meditation, mindfulness, and mental strength are intertwined, we must first explore the rich philosophy that underpins them, Buddhism. At its heart, Buddhism is not a religion in the traditional sense. It's a profound path of self-discovery, offering timeless wisdom on how to live with purpose, peace, and resilience. While it may seem complex at first glance, its core teachings are surprisingly simple and deeply practical, making them accessible to anyone seeking greater clarity and well-being. Let's begin with one of the most fundamental frameworks in Buddhism, the Four Noble Truths. These truths serve as a roadmap for understanding suffering and, more importantly, how to transcend it. The first noble truth acknowledges that suffering exists. This might sound bleak, but it's actually liberating. By recognizing that pain, dissatisfaction, and imperfection are inherent parts of life, we stop resisting reality and start working with it. Whether it's physical discomfort, emotional turmoil, or existential uncertainty, suffering is universal. And acknowledging this truth allows us to face our struggles head-on, rather than denying or suppressing them. The second noble truth delves into the causes of suffering. According to Buddhism, much of our suffering stems from craving, attachment, and aversion. We cling to fleeting pleasures, hoping they'll bring lasting happiness, only to feel empty when they inevitably fade. Or we resist unpleasant experiences, create additional layers of stress and frustration. For example, think about how often you've worried about something before it even happened, or dwelled on a mistake long after it occurred. These patterns of clinging and resisting keep us trapped in cycles of dissatisfaction. But here's the good news. By identifying these habits, we can begin to break free from them. The third noble truth offers hope. Suffering can end. This state of liberation is known as nirvana, which translates to extinguishing or cooling. It's not some far-off destination reserved for saints or sages. It's a moment-to-moment experience of peace that arises when we let go of harmful attachments and aversions. Imagine feeling completely at ease, regardless of external circumstances, not because everything is perfect, but because your mind is unshakable. Nirvana isn't about escaping life, it's about fully embracing it without being consumed by it. Finally, the fourth noble truth outlines the path to ending suffering, the Eightfold Path. This path consists of 8 interconnected practices that guide us toward ethical living, mental discipline, and wisdom. Let's briefly explore each aspect. Right understanding. This means seeing things as they truly are, free from distortion or denial. It involves understanding the nature of suffering, impermanence, and interconnectedness. When you cultivate right understanding, you develop a clear lens through which to view life. Right intention. Your intentions shape your actions. Right intention involves cultivating thoughts of kindness, compassion, and renunciation, letting go of greed, hatred, and harmful desires. By aligning your intentions with positivity, you create a ripple effect of goodwill in your life and the lives of others. Right speech. Words hold immense power. Right speech encourages us to speak truthfully, kindly, and constructively. Avoid gossip, harsh language, and idle chatter. Instead, use your words to uplift, inspire, and heal. Right action. This refers to behaving ethically and responsibly. It includes refraining from harming others, stealing, or engaging in dishonesty. Right action fosters trust, respect, and harmony in relationships. Right livelihood. How we earn our living matters. Right livelihood means choosing work that aligns with your values and contributes positively to society. If your job causes harm or conflict, consider whether adjustments can be made to reflect your deeper principles. Right effort. Life requires effort, but the key is directing that effort wisely. Right effort involves cultivating wholesome qualities like patience, generosity, and mindfulness, while letting go of unwholesome traits like anger, jealousy, and laziness. Right mindfulness. Mindfulness is the cornerstone of Buddhist practice. It means being fully present in each moment, observing your thoughts, emotions, and sensations without judgment. Through mindfulness, you gain insight into the workings of your mind and learn to respond skillfully to life's challenges. Right concentration. This involves developing deep states of focus and tranquility through meditation. By training your mind to concentrate, you enhance your ability to stay calm, centered, and aware, even in chaotic situations. Together, these 8 practices form a comprehensive guide for living with integrity, awareness, and compassion. They're not rigid rules, but flexible principles that adapt to your unique circumstances. As you integrate them into your daily life, you'll notice subtle yet profound shifts in your mindset and behavior. Another pivotal concept in Buddhism is the idea of impermanence, or anicca. Everything in life is constantly changing. Seasons, relationships, emotions, careers, all of it flows like a river. Clinging to permanence leads to disappointment, while accepting impermanence opens the door to freedom. For instance, if you lose a job, instead of spiraling into despair, you recognize that change is natural and an opportunity for growth may arise. Similarly, if you experience joy, you savor it without clinging to it, knowing it too will pass. Interconnectedness, or pratitya-samutpada, is another cornerstone of Buddhist thought. This principle teaches that nothing exists independently. Everything is interdependent. Your actions affect others just as their actions affect you. This web of connection fosters empathy and responsibility. When you act with kindness, you contribute positively to the collective whole. Conversely, harmful actions harm not only others but also yourself. Understanding interconnectedness motivates you to live consciously and compassionately. Compassion, or karuna, is central to Buddhist practice. It's the wish for all beings to be free from suffering. Cultivating compassion transforms your relationship with yourself and others. Instead of reacting with anger or judgment, you respond with understanding and care. Loving kindness meditation, or metta bhavana, is a powerful tool for nurturing compassion. By silently repeating phrases like, "May I be happy," "May I be safe," "May I be at peace," and extending those wishes to others, you expand your capacity for love and connection. Buddhism also emphasizes the importance of non-self, or anatta. This teaching challenges the notion of a fixed, independent self. Instead, it suggests that what we call self is a collection of ever-changing elements, thoughts, emotions, physical sensations, and perceptions. By letting go of rigid identification with the ego, you reduce attachment and open yourself to boundless possibilities. Non-self doesn't mean you cease to exist. It means you transcend limiting beliefs about who you are. Now let's connect these teachings back to mental strength. Meditation, mindfulness, and ethical living are integral components of the Buddhist path, and they directly support mental resilience. Meditation trains your mind to remain steady amidst distractions. Mindfulness keeps you anchored in the present moment, reducing anxiety and overthinking. Ethical living builds trust and harmony in relationships, creating a supportive environment for personal growth. Together, these practices help you navigate life's challenges with grace and equanimity. For example, imagine facing a difficult conversation with a colleague or loved one. Without mental strength, you might react defensively or emotionally, escalating the situation. With mental strength rooted in Buddhist principles, you approach the interaction mindfully. You listen attentively, speak kindly, and respond thoughtfully. Even if the outcome isn't ideal, you leave the encounter feeling grounded and composed. Similarly, consider how impermanence and interconnectedness influence your perspective. When you embrace impermanence, you stop resisting change and start adapting to it. When you recognize interconnectedness, you act with greater empathy and responsibility. These insights foster resilience, enabling you to face adversity with courage and compassion. As we move forward, keep these foundational teachings in mind. They provide a solid framework for integrating meditation, mindfulness, and mental strength into your daily life. In subsequent chapters, we'll explore specific techniques and strategies to help you embody these principles in practical ways. In summary, the foundations of Buddhism offer invaluable guidance for anyone seeking to strengthen their mind and enrich their life. From the Four Noble Truths to the Eightfold Path, from impermanence to interconnectedness, these teachings illuminate the path to lasting peace and fulfillment. By embracing them, you embark on a transformative journey, one that empowers you to meet life's challenges with wisdom, grace, and unwavering resolve. Chapter 3: Why Meditation Matters. Meditation is often misunderstood as something mystical or reserved for spiritual seekers. But in reality, it's one of the most practical tools we have for cultivating mental strength and well-being. It's not about escaping life or achieving some elusive state of enlightenment. It's about training your mind to function more effectively so you can navigate challenges with clarity, calm, and resilience. To truly appreciate why meditation matters, let's dive deep into its essence, benefits, and transformative potential. At its core, meditation is the practice of focusing your attention and quieting the constant chatter of your mind. Think of your thoughts as clouds drifting across the sky, sometimes light and fluffy, other times dark and stormy. Without meditation, it's easy to get swept away by these clouds, reacting impulsively to whatever arises. But through consistent practice, you learn to observe your thoughts without getting caught up in them. You become the watcher, the steady presence behind the ever-changing weather of your mind. This shift in perspective is powerful because it gives you space to choose how you respond to life's ups and downs. One of the most profound aspects of meditation is that it teaches you to be present. So often our minds are scattered, replaying past events, worrying about the future, or multitasking to the point of exhaustion. Meditation anchors you in the here and now, reminding you that this moment is all you truly have. Whether you're sitting quietly, walking, or even washing dishes, mindfulness meditation helps you engage fully with whatever you're doing. Over time, this presence enhances your experiences, deepens your connections, and sharpens your focus. But how does meditation actually work? Let's break it down. When you meditate, you're essentially rewiring your brain through a process called neuroplasticity. Studies have shown that regular meditation increases grey matter in areas associated with memory, learning, emotional regulation, and empathy. It also reduces activity in the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for fear and stress responses. This means that over time, meditation makes you less reactive to triggers and better equipped to handle difficult emotions. There are many forms of meditation, each offering unique benefits. One of the simplest and most accessible practices is breath-focused meditation. In this technique, you bring your attention to your breath, noticing the sensation of air entering and leaving your nostrils. Whenever your mind wanders, and it will, you gently guide your focus back to your breath. This practice may seem basic, but it's incredibly effective. By repeatedly returning to your breath, you strengthen your ability to concentrate and develop patience with yourself. Another popular form of meditation is body scan meditation, which involves systematically bringing awareness to different parts of your body. Starting at the top of your head and moving down to your toes, you notice any sensations, tension, or discomfort without judgment. This practice not only promotes relaxation, but also fosters a deeper connection between your mind and body. Many people find that body scan meditation helps them release physical tension and sleep more soundly. Loving kindness meditation, or metta, is another powerful technique. In this practice, you cultivate feelings of compassion and goodwill toward yourself and others. You might silently repeat phrases like, "May I be happy, may I be healthy, may I live with ease." Then extend those wishes to loved ones, acquaintances, and even people you find challenging. Loving kindness meditation softens the heart, dissolves barriers, and nurtures a sense of interconnectedness. It's particularly helpful for overcoming feelings of isolation or resentment. Visualization meditation is yet another approach where you use your imagination to create positive mental images. For example, you might picture yourself succeeding at a goal surrounded by supportive friends, or basking in a peaceful natural setting. Visualization taps into the power of your subconscious mind, helping you align your thoughts and actions with your aspirations. Athletes, performers, and entrepreneurs often use visualization to boost confidence and performance. Now, let's talk about the benefits of meditation beyond the immediate sense of calm it provides. Research has shown that meditation can lower blood pressure, improve immune function, reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression, and enhance overall well-being. It's also been linked to increased creativity, improved decision-making, and greater emotional intelligence. These effects aren't just anecdotal, they're backed by science. For instance, studies using MRI scans have revealed structural changes in the brains of long-term meditators, including increased cortical thickness and enhanced connectivity between regions involved in attention and self-awareness. But perhaps the most remarkable aspect of meditation is its ability to transform your relationship with yourself. Many of us carry inner critics that constantly judge, compare, and belittle us. Meditation creates a safe space to confront these voices with kindness and curiosity. Instead of suppressing negative thoughts or fighting against them, you learn to acknowledge them without identifying with them. This detachment allows you to see yourself more clearly and treat yourself with greater compassion. Meditation also fosters resilience by teaching you to sit with discomfort. Life is full of unpleasant experiences, pain, frustration, uncertainty, and our instinct is often to avoid or resist them, but avoidance only prolongs suffering. Through meditation, you practice leaning into discomfort rather than running from it. For example, during a session, you might feel restless, bored, or agitated. Instead of giving up, you stay with the experience, observing it with curiosity. Over time, this builds tolerance for adversity, enabling you to face real-world challenges with greater equanimity. Let's explore how meditation supports mental strength in everyday life. Imagine waking up feeling overwhelmed by a packed schedule. Without meditation, you might rush through the day, reacting impulsively to stresses and depleting your energy. With meditation, however, you start your morning with a few minutes of focused breathing. This simple act grounds you, sets a positive tone for the day, and primes your mind to handle whatever comes your way. Similarly, if you encounter conflict or criticism, meditation helps you pause before responding, reducing the likelihood of regrettable reactions. Another key benefit of meditation is its impact on relationships. When you meditate regularly, you become more attuned to your own emotions and needs, which improves communication and empathy. You're less likely to project your frustrations onto others or take things personally. Instead, you approach interactions with openness and understanding, fostering healthier dynamics. It's important to note that meditation doesn't require hours of practice to be effective. Even 5 to 10 minutes a day can yield significant results. The key is consistency, not intensity. Just as brushing your teeth daily prevents cavities, short, regular meditation sessions gradually build mental hygiene. Over time, you'll notice subtle yet profound changes in your mindset and behavior. For beginners, starting a meditation practice can feel daunting. There's no need to strive for perfection or force yourself into uncomfortable positions. Find a quiet spot, sit comfortably, a chair works just fine, and set a timer for a manageable duration. Focus on your breath or choose a guided meditation app if you prefer structure. Be patient with yourself. It's normal for your mind to wander. The act of gently bringing your attention back is itself the practice. As you deepen your practice, you might experiment with longer sessions or explore advanced techniques like mantra meditation, Zen meditation, or Vipassana. Each style offers unique insights and challenges, allowing you to tailor your practice to your evolving needs. Remember, there's no right way to meditate. It's about finding what resonates with you and committing to the journey. Finally, meditation isn't a solitary endeavor. While it's deeply personal, it also ripples outward, influencing those around you. As you cultivate peace within yourself, you radiate that energy into the world. Your presence becomes a gift, inspiring others to slow down, reflect, and connect more authentically. This ripple effect amplifies the impact of your practice, creating a cycle of positivity and growth. In summary, meditation matters because it empowers you to take control of your mind rather than letting your mind control you. It trains you to be present, cultivates resilience, and fosters a compassionate relationship with yourself and others. By integrating meditation into your daily routine, you lay the foundation for lasting mental strength and well-being. In the chapters ahead, we'll explore how to complement meditation with mindfulness and Buddhist principles, creating a holistic approach to thriving in life. So, whether you're new to meditation or looking to deepen your practice, remember this: every breath is an opportunity to begin again. Keep going. You're building something extraordinary. Chapter 4: Understanding Mindfulness. Mindfulness is one of the most transformative practices you can adopt to strengthen your mind and enrich your life. At its essence, mindfulness is about paying attention to the present moment with curiosity, openness, and kindness. It's not about achieving some lofty state of enlightenment or perfection. It's about fully engaging with whatever is happening right now, whether it's pleasant or challenging. By cultivating mindfulness, you create a foundation for mental clarity, emotional balance, and resilience. Let's explore why mindfulness matters, how it works, and how you can integrate it into your daily life in meaningful ways. To understand mindfulness, it's helpful to first recognize what often happens when we're not mindful. Many of us live much of our lives on autopilot, distracted by thoughts about the past or future. We eat meals without tasting the food, scroll through our phones while spending time with loved ones, or rush through tasks without truly noticing what we're doing. This lack of presence disconnects us from our experiences and diminishes our ability to savor life's joys. Worse still, it leaves us vulnerable to stress, anxiety, and burnout because we're constantly projecting ourselves into scenarios that haven't even happened yet, or replaying events that are already over. Mindfulness counters this tendency by bringing your awareness back to the here and now. When you practice mindfulness, you intentionally focus on the sensations, emotions, and thoughts arising in the present moment, without judgment. For example, instead of thinking about tomorrow's meeting while brushing your teeth, you might notice the coolness of the water, the minty taste of the toothpaste, and the rhythmic motion of your hand. These small acts of awareness may seem insignificant, but they accumulate over time, helping you feel more grounded and alive. One of the reasons mindfulness is so powerful is that it trains your brain to function differently. Neuroscientific research has shown that regular mindfulness practice increases activity in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making, self-regulation, and empathy. Simultaneously, it decreases activity in the amygdala, which governs the body's fight-or-flight response. This means that as you become more mindful, you're less likely to react impulsively to stresses and better equipped to approach challenges with calm and clarity. But mindfulness isn't just about rewiring your brain, it's also about reconnecting with your body. Modern life often encourages us to live in our heads, ignoring the signals our bodies send us until they become impossible to ignore. Mindfulness invites you to tune in to these signals, fostering a deeper relationship with your physical self. For instance, during a mindful walk, you might pay attention to the sensation of your feet touching the ground, the rhythm of your breath, or the feeling of the breeze against your skin. This embodied awareness not only reduces stress, but also helps you detect early signs of tension or discomfort before they escalate. There are countless ways to practice mindfulness, and each method offers unique benefits. One of the simplest and most accessible techniques is mindful breathing. All you need to do is bring your attention to your breath, noticing the rise and fall of your chest, or the sensation of air passing through your nostrils. Whenever your mind wanders, and it will, you gently guide your focus back to your breath. This practice anchors you in the present moment and serves as a reset button for your mind whenever you feel scattered or overwhelmed. Another popular mindfulness exercise is the body scan, which involves systematically bringing awareness to different parts of your body, starting at the top of your head and moving down to your toes. As you progress, you notice any areas of tension, warmth, or relaxation without trying to change anything. The goal is simply to observe and acknowledge what's there. Body scans are particularly effective for promoting relaxation, improving sleep, and releasing stored stress in the body. Mindful eating is another practical application of mindfulness. Instead of rushing through meals or multitasking while you eat, you slow down and savor each bite. Notice the colors, textures, and flavors of your food. Pay attention to how it feels in your mouth and how it nourishes your body. Not only does this enhance your enjoyment of meals, but it also helps prevent overeating by giving your brain time to register fullness. Mindfulness can also be woven into routine activities like washing dishes, folding laundry, or commuting. For example, while washing dishes, you might focus on the warmth of the water, the scent of the soap, and the repetitive motion of scrubbing. By infusing ordinary tasks with mindful awareness, you transform them into opportunities for presence and peace. The beauty of mindfulness lies in its versatility. You don't need special equipment, a designated space or large blocks of time to practice it. Even a single mindful breath can shift your perspective and bring you back to the present moment. Over time, these micro moments of awareness add up, creating lasting changes in how you experience life. Now let's talk about the broader benefits of mindfulness. Beyond reducing stress and enhancing focus, mindfulness improves emotional regulation. When you're mindful, you develop the ability to observe your emotions without immediately reacting to them. For instance, if someone says something hurtful, mindfulness gives you the space to pause and choose a thoughtful response rather than lashing out impulsively. This skill is invaluable in both personal and professional relationships, as it fosters understanding and minimizes conflict. Mindfulness also cultivates gratitude and appreciation for the little things in life. When you're fully present, you start noticing details you might otherwise overlook. The way sunlight filters through leaves, the sound of birds chirping, or the smile of a stranger. These small moments of beauty accumulate, enriching your sense of connection to the world around you. Moreover, mindfulness supports mental health by breaking the cycle of rumination and worry. Anxiety thrives on speculation about the future, while depression often stems from dwelling on the past. By anchoring yourself in the present moment, you interrupt these patterns and create space for healing. Studies have shown that mindfulness-based interventions, such as mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR, and mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, MBCT, are highly effective in reducing symptoms of anxiety, depression, and chronic pain. It's worth noting that mindfulness isn't always easy, especially in the beginning. Our minds are conditioned to wander, and sitting quietly with your thoughts can sometimes feel uncomfortable. But remember, mindfulness isn't about eliminating distractions, it's about noticing them without attachment. Each time you catch your mind wandering and bring it back to the present moment, you're strengthening your mindfulness muscle. Like any other skill, it takes practice, patience, and persistence. For those new to mindfulness, guided meditations can be incredibly helpful. Apps, podcasts, and online videos offer structured exercises led by experienced teachers, making it easier to get started. Alternatively, you can try informal mindfulness practices, such as setting reminders throughout the day to check in with yourself. Ask questions like, what am I feeling right now? Am I truly present, or am I lost in thought? These gentle prompts help reinforce mindfulness habits over time. As you deepen your practice, you might explore more formal mindfulness traditions such as Zen meditation, Vipassana, or insight meditation. Each tradition emphasizes slightly different aspects of mindfulness, but all share the common goal of cultivating awareness and compassion. Regardless of the path you choose, the key is to remain open and curious, allowing your practice to evolve naturally. Finally, mindfulness isn't just a personal journey, it has a ripple effect on those around you. When you're mindful, you show up more fully in your interactions, listening attentively and responding empathetically. Your presence becomes a gift, inspiring others to slow down and connect more authentically. This shared sense of mindfulness creates a positive feedback loop, fostering harmony and mutual understanding in relationships. In summary, mindfulness is a cornerstone of mental strength because it teaches you to live fully in the present moment, cultivating awareness, acceptance, and compassion. By integrating mindfulness into your daily life, you lay the groundwork for greater resilience, emotional intelligence, and well-being. Whether you're practicing mindful breathing, engaging in everyday activities with intention, or exploring advanced techniques, every step forward brings you closer to a richer, more fulfilling existence. As we move into subsequent chapters, we'll continue to build on these principles, exploring how mindfulness complements meditation and Buddhist teachings to create a holistic approach to thriving in life. Until then, remember this: mindfulness is a lifelong practice, not a destination. Keep showing up, keep paying attention, and trust that the journey itself is the reward. Chapter 5: Overcoming Negative Thinking Patterns. Negative thinking patterns are one of the most pervasive obstacles to mental strength, yet they're also one of the most insidious. These repetitive loops of self-doubt, worry, criticism, and fear can feel like a heavy fog that clouds your mind and distorts your perception of reality. The good news is that you don't have to be at the mercy of these thoughts. With mindfulness, meditation, and insights from Buddhism, you can learn to recognize, challenge, and ultimately overcome negative thinking patterns, paving the way for greater clarity, resilience, and peace of mind. Let's start by understanding what negative thinking patterns are and why they arise. At their core, these thought patterns are habitual ways of interpreting the world that often stem from past experiences, conditioning, or unmet needs. For example, if you grew up in an environment where mistakes were harshly criticized, you might develop a tendency to overanalyze every decision, fearing failure or judgment. Similarly, if you face trauma or loss, you might carry a sense of hypervigilance, always anticipating the worst-case scenario. While these patterns may have served as protective mechanisms at some point, they often outlive their usefulness, becoming barriers to growth and happiness. One common type of negative thinking pattern is catastrophizing, imagining the worst possible outcome in any given situation. For instance, if you receive an email from your boss asking for a meeting instead of assuming it's routine, you might jump to conclusions like "I'm going to get fired" or "they're unhappy with my performance." This kind of thinking amplifies stress and anxiety, making it harder to focus or take constructive action. Another common pattern is black and white thinking, where you see situations in extremes. Either everything is perfect, or it's completely ruined. This rigid mindset leaves little room for nuance or flexibility, leading to frustration and disappointment when things inevitably fall short of ideals. Self-criticism is another pervasive form of negative thinking. Many of us have an inner critic that constantly evaluates our actions, appearance, and worth, often in harsh and unforgiving terms. Phrases like, "I'm not good enough, I'll never succeed," or "Why did I say that? I'm so stupid," can become automatic scripts running in the background of our minds. Over time, this internal dialogue erodes self-esteem and creates a sense of inadequacy, even when there's no objective basis for it. The first step in overcoming these patterns is awareness. You can't change what you don't notice, so mindfulness plays a crucial role here. By observing your thoughts without attachment, you begin to see them for what they truly are: fleeting mental events, not fact. Imagine sitting by a riverbank, watching leaves float downstream. Some leaves represent joyful thoughts, others represent worries or frustrations. Instead of jumping into the river and trying to control the current, you stay grounded on the bank, observing without judgment. This shift in perspective gives you the power to detach from harmful thought patterns and choose more constructive responses. Buddhism offers profound wisdom on this topic through its teachings on impermanence and non-attachment. One of the key insights is that thoughts are not permanent fixtures. They arise, linger for a moment, and then pass away. When you cling to negative thoughts or identify with them, you give them undue power. But when you let them flow naturally like clouds drifting across the sky, they lose their grip on your mind. Non-attachment doesn't mean ignoring or suppressing your thoughts, it means acknowledging them without getting entangled. Meditation is another powerful tool for breaking free from negative thinking patterns. Through practices like breath-focused meditation or loving-kindness meditation, you train your mind to remain steady amidst distractions. For example, during a session, you might notice a wave of self-doubt washing over you. Instead of spiraling into rumination, you gently return your attention to your breath, or repeat phrases like, "May I be kind to myself," and "May I release this thought with ease." Over time, this practice builds mental discipline, helping you respond to challenges with greater equanimity. Another effective strategy is cognitive reframing, which involves challenging distorted thoughts and replacing them with more balanced perspectives. Let's say you find yourself thinking, "I'll never finish this project on time." Instead of accepting this thought as truth, ask yourself, is this really accurate? Have I completed similar tasks before? What steps can I take to move forward? By questioning the validity of your assumptions, you create space for rational problem solving rather than emotional overwhelm. Gratitude is another antidote to negativity. When you consciously focus on what's going well in your life, You shift your attention away from scarcity and lack. For example, if you're feeling overwhelmed by work deadlines, take a moment to appreciate the fact that you have a job, supportive colleagues, or skills that allow you to contribute meaningfully. Gratitude doesn't deny difficulties, it simply broadens your perspective, reminding you that life is multifaceted and full of opportunities for growth. Mindful journaling is a practical technique for addressing negative thinking patterns. Set aside a few minutes each day to write about your thoughts and feelings without censoring yourself. As you put pen to paper, pay attention to recurring themes or triggers. Are certain situations consistently bringing up feelings of inadequacy or fear? Once you've identified these patterns, you can begin to explore their roots and experiment with new ways of responding. Journaling also provides a safe outlet for processing emotions, reducing the likelihood of bottling them up or projecting them onto others. It's important to acknowledge that overcoming negative thinking patterns isn't a linear process. There will be days when old habits resurface, and that's okay. What matters is your willingness to keep showing up and practicing. Each time you catch yourself slipping into unhelpful thoughts and redirect your focus, you reinforce neural pathways associated with positivity and resilience. Let's delve deeper into how specific mindfulness techniques can help dismantle negative thinking. One approach is the RAIN method, which stands for recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture. First, recognize the thought or emotion you're experiencing. Next, allow it to be present without resistance. Acknowledge that it's part of your human experience. Then, investigate it with curiosity. Where do you feel it in your body? What story is it telling you? Finally, nurture yourself with compassion, offering kindness and understanding instead of judgment. This four-step process transforms difficult moments into opportunities for growth and healing. Another technique is visualization, where you use your imagination to counteract negativity. For example, if you're plagued by self-doubt, picture yourself succeeding at a task or receiving encouragement from loved ones. Visualization taps into the power of your subconscious mind, reinforcing beliefs that align with your goals and aspirations. Athletes, performers, and entrepreneurs often use this tool to overcome mental blocks and boost confidence. Physical movement can also play a role in shifting negative thinking patterns. Activities like yoga, tai chi, or mindful walking engage both your body and mind, releasing pent-up tension and promoting a sense of flow. As you synchronize your breath with movement, you anchor yourself in the present moment, reducing the tendency to dwell on past regrets or future anxieties. Relationships are another area where negative thinking can manifest. If you find yourself assuming the worst about someone's intentions or replaying conflicts in your head, mindfulness can help you pause and reframe these narratives. Instead of jumping to conclusions, ask yourself, am I interpreting this situation fairly? Could there be another explanation? By approaching interactions with curiosity and openness, you foster healthier dynamics and reduce unnecessary drama. Finally, it's essential to cultivate patience and self-compassion throughout this process. Changing deeply ingrained thought patterns takes time, effort, and persistence. Be gentle with yourself as you navigate setbacks and celebrate small victories along the way. Remember, progress, not perfection, is the goal. In summary, overcoming negative thinking patterns requires awareness, intention, and consistent practice. By combining mindfulness, meditation, and Buddhist principles, you gain the tools needed to observe your thoughts without attachment, challenge distorted narratives, and nurture a more compassionate relationship with yourself. Whether you're using cognitive reframing, gratitude hour practices, or mindful journaling, each step forward brings you closer to mental clarity and resilience. As we transition to subsequent chapters, we'll continue exploring complementary strategies for building mental strength, including cultivating compassion, managing stress, and embracing acceptance. Until then, remember this: your thoughts are not facts. They're clouds passing through the sky of your mind. Keep observing, keep letting go, and trust that brighter skies lie ahead. Chapter 6. Cultivating compassion for yourself and others. Compassion is one of the most transformative forces we can cultivate, not just for others, but also for ourselves. It is the deep recognition of suffering coupled with the sincere desire to alleviate it. And in the world we live in, often fast, complex, and emotionally draining, compassion becomes not just a virtue, but a necessary practice for mental strength, balance, and meaningful connection. In this chapter, we'll explore what compassion truly means, how it aligns with mindfulness and Buddhist philosophy, how it can be cultivated through meditation and daily life, and how its practice can profoundly transform your inner world and the way you relate to others. We often think of compassion as something external, something we give to others who are hurting or struggling. But true compassion begins within. It begins by learning how to respond to our own pain, flaws, and failures with the same gentleness we might offer a loved one. This is the cornerstone of self-compassion, and it's one of the most vital tools for building mental resilience. If we are constantly judging or criticizing ourselves, we create an inner environment of stress, shame, and resistance. But if we meet ourselves with understanding, kindness, and patience, we cultivate a nurturing internal space that can support growth, healing, and strength. Kristin Neff, a pioneering researcher in the field of self-compassion, describes 3 essential elements of the practice: self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. Self-kindness means extending warmth and understanding to ourselves rather than harsh judgment. Common humanity is the realization that suffering and imperfection are part of the shared human experience. Not something that isolates us, but something that connects us. Mindfulness allows us to witness our thoughts and emotions without exaggerating or denying them, so we can respond with clarity and care rather than reactivity. These principles are beautifully embodied in the Buddhist practice of metta, or loving-kindness meditation. In this form of meditation, we consciously cultivate goodwill and heartfelt wishes for happiness, safety, and peace, starting with ourselves and gradually extending those wishes to others. You might begin by repeating phrases such as, "May I be happy," "May I be safe," "May I live with ease." Then you include a loved one, then someone neutral, then someone difficult, and finally, all beings everywhere. This expansive practice softens the barriers between self and other, transforming the heart and enhancing feelings of connection, empathy, and goodwill. Compassion is also a powerful antidote to fear, anger, and isolation. When we practice compassion, we learn to stay present with suffering, our own and that of others, without becoming overwhelmed or shutting down. This presence builds courage. It allows us to move toward discomfort rather than away from it, and this is a vital aspect of mental strength. Not the ability to avoid difficulty, but the ability to face it with an open heart and a steady mind. From a neuroscientific perspective, compassion practices activate the brain's caregiving systems, including the areas linked to empathy, emotional regulation, and reward. Regular practice has been shown to increase resilience, reduce stress, and even lower inflammatory responses in the body. In this way, compassion doesn't just make us feel better emotionally, it actually supports our physical health and long-term well-being. Practicing compassion also rewires how we relate to others. Imagine walking into a conversation with a friend who's clearly upset. Without compassion, we might judge their reaction, rush to fix things, or feel discomfort and avoid the issue altogether. But with compassion, we hold space for their experience. We listen. We resist the urge to control or solve and instead offer our presence and understanding. This is not passivity, it is strength rooted in awareness and care. In Buddhist teachings, compassion, karuna, is often paired with wisdom, prajna. The two are considered wings of the same bird. Compassion without wisdom can lead to burnout or codependence, while wisdom without compassion can become cold or detached. But when they're practiced together, they create a balanced and powerful way of living. A compassionate person guided by wisdom knows when to act, when to listen, when to let go, and when to stay. This inner guidance fosters integrity, emotional maturity, and authentic relationships. Importantly, compassion does not mean condoning harmful behavior. It doesn't mean accepting mistreatment or allowing boundaries to be crossed. True compassion includes discernment. It sees clearly what is happening and responds in ways that promote healing and justice. Sometimes the most compassionate response is a firm no, or walking away, or speaking a difficult truth. This kind of compassion requires immense inner strength, but it also brings deep peace because it aligns with your highest values and your deepest truths. Now let's explore how compassion plays out in everyday scenarios. Imagine you've made a mistake at work, missed a deadline, or handled a task poorly. The default response for many people is self-recrimination. I'm so stupid, or I always mess up. But what if instead you paused and took a breath? What if you acknowledged the mistake, reminded yourself that everyone slips up sometimes, and asked, what can I learn from this? This small shift changes everything. It transforms failure into growth. It builds resilience. Now consider a moment when someone cuts you off in traffic or snaps at you in a store. The immediate impulse might be anger or judgment, but a compassionate response might sound like, I don't know what this person's going through today. I hope they find peace. Again, this doesn't mean excusing bad behavior. It means protecting your own peace while holding space for the humanity of others. Compassion can be practiced silently, internally, through your thoughts and attitude, but it can also be expressed outwardly, in the way you speak to others, the way you listen, the way you offer help or choose not to escalate tension. Small acts of kindness ripple outward. A kind word, a gentle smile, a moment of understanding. These are not small things. They change the world, one interaction at a time. It's also important to acknowledge the challenges of compassion. Sometimes, especially in times of deep pain or injustice, compassion can feel difficult or even impossible. That's okay. Compassion is not about forcing ourselves to feel a certain way. It's about meeting ourselves where we are and moving from that place with as much honesty and care as we can muster. On some days, that might mean sitting quietly with our own heartbreak. On others, it might mean reaching out to someone who's struggling. Every gesture counts. To help cultivate compassion more intentionally, consider developing a daily ritual. Begin or end your day with a short, loving-kindness meditation. Keep a compassion journal where you reflect on moments when you responded with care or when you wish you had. Notice how it feels to be on the receiving end of compassion from others, and let those moments inspire you. Surround yourself with stories, teachings, and people who embody compassion, and let their presence guide your own practice. And always return to your breath. Your breath is the thread that connects you to this moment, to your body, to your heart. When you feel overwhelmed, pause and breathe. When you're in doubt, breathe. When you're ready to open your heart again, breathe. Compassion flows from presence, and presence begins with breath. In summary, cultivating compassion for yourself and others is a practice of great power and subtle beauty. It softens the sharp edges of the mind, opens the heart to connection, and builds an unshakable foundation of inner strength. Through the guidance of mindfulness, the structure of meditation, and the wisdom of Buddhist teachings, you can grow this practice one breath, one thought, one act at a time. Compassion isn't something you achieve, it's something you remember. It's who you are, underneath the fear, the defense, and the noise. Let it rise gently. Let it guide you. Chapter 7. Dealing with stress and anxiety. Stress and anxiety are among the most common and persistent challenges that we face in the modern world. They affect people from all walks of life, regardless of age, background, or personal history, and can quietly shape our thoughts, influence our decisions, and drain our energy. But while stress and anxiety are widespread, they are not insurmountable. In fact, with the right tools, awareness, and mindset, it's possible not only to manage them, but also to grow stronger and more centered because of them. In this chapter, we will explore how meditation, mindfulness, and Buddhist principles offer practical and transformative approaches to dealing with stress and anxiety. Let's begin by understanding the nature of stress and anxiety. Stress is your body's natural response to a perceived threat or demand. It's not inherently bad. In fact, stress can be useful in short bursts, helping you rise to challenges or stay alert in critical situations. But chronic stress, which lingers without resolution, takes a toll on your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. It can lead to fatigue, irritability, insomnia, and even long-term health issues like heart disease and weakened immunity. Anxiety, on the other hand, is more than just occasional worry. It's a state of persistent fear or unease about future events, real or imagined. Anxiety often arises when we feel a lack of control or when we become trapped in cycles of overthinking and catastrophizing. While fear is a response to an immediate danger, anxiety is anticipatory, our minds imagining what might go wrong again and again. Buddhism has long addressed the roots of suffering, and much of what we call stress and anxiety today is deeply tied to attachment, resistance, and aversion, key themes in Buddhist teachings. The Buddha taught that suffering arises from our desire for things to be different than they are. We grasp at comfort, certainty, and success, while pushing away discomfort, uncertainty, and failure. This grasping and aversion keep us in a state of constant tension. When we're mindful, however, we begin to see how these patterns unfold in real time, and that awareness opens the door to freedom. One of the first steps in dealing with stress and anxiety is recognizing their presence without judgment. This is where mindfulness becomes so essential. Mindfulness allows you to observe your internal state as it is, not as you wish it were. When you feel anxious, rather than immediately reacting or trying to suppress the feeling, you can learn to sit with it. Notice where it shows up in the body and allow it to be present without resistance. For example, you might notice a tightness in your chest, a racing heart, or a churning in your stomach. Simply naming these sensations, tightness, restlessness, heat, helps create space between you and the emotion, reducing its intensity. Meditation builds on this by training your mind to stay present. When you sit in meditation, you learn to watch your thoughts without becoming entangled in them. This is especially powerful for anxiety, which often stems from repetitive, intrusive thoughts about what might go wrong. Through consistent practice, you develop the ability to notice anxious thoughts as they arise. I'm not good enough. What if I fail? And gently return your focus to your breath or your body. This process of returning over and over is what strengthens the mental muscle of resilience. There are specific meditations that are particularly helpful for dealing with stress and anxiety. Breath awareness meditation is one of the simplest and most effective. By focusing on the natural rhythm of your breath, inhalation and exhalation, you anchor yourself in the present moment. Each breath becomes a reminder that you are alive, grounded, and safe. When practiced regularly, breath meditation can lower cortisol levels, calm the nervous system, and restore a sense of inner balance. Another useful practice is body scan meditation. This involves slowly moving your attention through the body, part by part, and noticing any areas of tension or discomfort. The goal is not to fix or change anything, but simply to be with what is. This practice not only helps you release physical tension, but also deepens your awareness of how stress manifests in your body. Over time, you may begin to notice patterns: tight shoulders during work deadlines, clenched jaw in social situations, and use that awareness to respond more skillfully. Loving-kindness meditation, which we explored in the previous chapter, can also be deeply soothing for anxiety. Anxiety often comes with harsh self-judgment or a sense of isolation. When you practice sending loving wishes to yourself, may I be calm, may I be safe, may I be at peace, you counteract those feelings with warmth and connection. Extending those wishes to others reminds you that you are not alone. Everyone struggles, everyone feels fear, everyone longs for peace. Beyond meditation, mindfulness in daily life is a crucial support in managing stress. When we are stressed or anxious, our instinct is often to rush through tasks, seek distractions, or numb out with habits like overeating or doom scrolling. Mindfulness invites you to slow down and actually be present with what you're doing. Whether you're drinking a cup of tea, taking a shower, or walking down the street, you can bring your full attention to the experience. This simple act grounds you in the now, interrupting cycles of worry and reactivity. Breath awareness techniques can be practiced anytime, anywhere, not just during formal meditation. For example, if you're feeling anxious before a meeting or overwhelmed in traffic, you can pause, take 3 slow, deep breaths, and gently bring your attention to the rise and fall of your chest. This micro-practice signals to your nervous system that you are safe and begins to shift you from a state of fight or flight to one of rest and digest. It's also important to consider how your lifestyle choices affect your stress levels. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you nourishing your body with wholesome food? Are you making time for rest, play, and connection? Mindfulness extends to how we care for our bodies, the boundaries we set, and the way we talk to ourselves. Sometimes managing stress means stepping back and evaluating your overall environment, noticing what drains you and what replenishes you. Journaling is another effective tool for managing anxiety. Writing down your thoughts can help externalize them, giving you distance and perspective. You might use prompts like, "What am I afraid of right now? What's within my control? What would I say to a friend in this situation?" Journaling helps organize your thoughts, track patterns, and explore compassionate responses to your own fears. Community and connection are also powerful antidotes to anxiety. Buddhism emphasizes the Sangha, or spiritual community, as one of the 3 jewels of the path alongside the Buddha and the Dharma. Being in connection with others, whether through meditation groups, supportive friendships, or acts of service, reminds us that we're not alone. Sharing our fears, being heard without judgment, and offering support in return all create a sense of belonging that counters the isolation anxiety often brings. As we integrate these practices, it's vital to acknowledge that healing is not linear. There will be days when anxiety resurfaces, when old stressors trigger new reactions. That's okay. What matters is how you meet those moments. With mindfulness, you don't have to fear your emotions. You learn to hold them with gentle awareness. With meditation, you develop the inner strength to sit with discomfort. And with compassion, you remind yourself that you're doing your best, even when things feel hard. In Buddhist thought, the lotus flower is a powerful symbol of transformation. It grows from the mud, thick, dark, and difficult, and yet blooms into something radiant and pure. Stress and anxiety are part of the mud of life, but they can be the very conditions that help you grow into clarity, strength, and peace. When you meet your struggles with awareness and kindness, you water the seeds of wisdom. You learn not just to survive, but to flourish. In summary, dealing with stress and anxiety requires a multifaceted approach, grounded in presence, self-awareness, and compassion. Meditation offers a stable foundation. Mindfulness brings clarity to your daily actions. Buddhist principles provide a roadmap for meeting suffering with courage and understanding. Together, these practices don't just help you cope, they empower you to live with greater intention, resilience, and grace. Whatever you're facing, know this: you have the tools within you. Breathe. Come back to this moment. You are stronger than your fear, and this moment is always a new beginning. Chapter 8, Building Resilience Through Acceptance. Resilience is not about being unshakable. It is not about having an iron will or the ability to ignore pain. True resilience is about staying soft in the face of hardship, about being flexible without breaking, and about finding strength, not in resistance, but in acceptance. This chapter is about that quiet, powerful kind of resilience, the one that emerges not from the avoidance of suffering, but from turning toward it with an open heart and steady mind. Through the lens of mindfulness, meditation, and Buddhist philosophy, we'll explore how acceptance becomes the cornerstone of inner strength, and how embracing life as it is can lead to transformation. To begin, let's define what we mean by acceptance. In this context, acceptance doesn't mean passive resignation or giving up. It doesn't mean that we stop trying to improve our lives or change harmful situations. Acceptance means seeing things clearly and truthfully as they are, without adding layers of resistance or denial. It's the willingness to say, this is what's happening right now, even if we don't like it, even if it hurts. And from that place of clear seeing, we begin to respond rather than react. This is the foundation of resilience. In the teachings of Buddhism, this concept is closely tied to the idea of dukkha, or suffering. The Buddha taught that suffering is an unavoidable part of life. Birth, aging, illness, loss, and death are all natural phenomena. What causes much of our additional suffering, however, is our resistance to what is. We want life to be different than it is. We wish painful experiences away or cling to pleasure, hoping it will last forever. This constant tension between what we desire and what is real is the source of much of our inner turmoil. Acceptance is the key to releasing that tension. When we practice acceptance, we stop fighting reality. And when we stop fighting reality, we free up immense amounts of energy that were previously consumed by struggle. This energy can now be directed toward healing, growth, and presence. Acceptance is not a form of weakness. It is the deepest kind of strength, rooted in clarity and wisdom. Take, for example, someone going through a period of grief. The loss of a loved one brings intense pain. Grief is natural, and no practice can erase it. But resisting the grief, judging it, or trying to rush through it only prolongs the suffering. Acceptance, on the other hand, allows that grief to move through the body and mind like a wave. You feel it, honor it, and allow it to unfold in its own time. This gentle allowing is what eventually leads to healing. This is resilience, not avoiding the pain, but allowing it to teach and transform you. Mindfulness plays a critical role in building this type of resilience. When you are mindful, you develop the capacity to stay present with your experience, no matter what it is. You begin to see your thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations not as enemies or obstacles, but as messengers. With mindfulness, even discomfort becomes workable. You learn to meet it with curiosity. What is this sensation? What is this feeling trying to show me? Through this kind of inquiry, acceptance naturally arises, not as a forced mental strategy, but as an organic result of awareness. Meditation deepens this process. In meditation, we often encounter discomfort, physical pain from sitting, boredom, frustration, or mental restlessness. The instinct is to shift, escape, or distract. But meditation teaches us to stay, to breathe, to observe. And in doing so, we learn that we can hold discomfort without being consumed by it. This ability to sit with what is, without needing to fix or flee, is a direct training in resilience. Over time, what once felt unbearable becomes manageable. The mind steadies, the heart softens. Another key teaching in Buddhism that supports resilience through acceptance is the concept of impermanence, or anicca. Everything in life is constantly changing. Emotions rise and fall. Pain comes and goes. Joy arises, peaks and fades. No state, no matter how pleasurable or painful, is permanent. When we understand this deeply, we become less reactive. We no longer cling desperately to the good or panic when the bad appears. We begin to trust the natural rhythm of life. This understanding helps us meet difficult moments with grace. Suppose you're facing a setback at work or in your personal life. The initial reaction might be frustration, disappointment, or anger, but if you pause, breathe, and remind yourself, this too will pass, you create space. You remember that everything changes, and in that remembering, you become more resilient, not because you suppress your emotions, but because you hold them with wisdom. Resilience through acceptance also means embracing our own imperfections. So often we hold ourselves to impossible standards. We think we should be stronger, more productive, more composed, but true strength includes vulnerability. Acceptance means acknowledging where we are right now, even if it's messy or uncertain. It means saying, "This is hard, and I'm doing the best I can." And in that self-honesty, we plant the seeds of compassion and healing. Self-compassion is a vital companion to acceptance. Without it, acceptance can become cold or rigid. But when we meet our pain with tenderness, when we speak to ourselves gently, as we would to a friend, we create a foundation of emotional safety. This inner safety gives us the courage to face life's challenges with an open heart. It allows us to keep going even when the path is unclear. Let's not forget the role of community in building resilience. While acceptance is an inner process, we do not walk the path alone. Being seen and supported by others helps us stay grounded. Sharing our struggles with trusted friends, mentors, or communities reminds us that our pain is not unique or shameful. It is part of being human. And in that shared humanity, we find strength. Daily life offers countless opportunities to practice acceptance. When plans change, when people disappoint us, when our bodies ache, or when emotions arise that we didn't expect, we can choose how to respond. We can resist and react, or we can pause and accept. This doesn't mean we approve of every situation. It means we acknowledge it as our starting point. From there, we can act with wisdom and clarity. For example, you might feel anxiety rising before an important event. Instead of trying to suppress it or distract yourself, you can acknowledge it. Anxiety is here. You might place a hand on your chest and breathe, allowing the sensation to be present without judgment. You might remind yourself, "This is a natural response. I can handle this." This small act of acceptance interrupts the cycle of fear and begins the cycle of healing. Even in moments of conflict or misunderstanding, acceptance can be transformative. Instead of trying to control how others feel or behave, you can focus on your own response. You can accept that people see things differently, that emotions run high, and that not every situation has a tidy resolution. And in that acceptance, you can act with integrity, speak with compassion, and let go of the need to be right. One of the most empowering realizations that rises through this practice is that we can be okay, even when things are not okay. This is the heart of resilience. Not that life always goes according to plan, but that we learn to meet whatever arises with steadiness and heart. Over time, acceptance becomes more than just a coping strategy. It becomes a way of being. It shapes how we move through the world. It helps us let go of perfectionism and embrace our humanity. It reminds us that peace is not the absence of pain, but the presence of awareness and love. In summary, building resilience through acceptance means letting go of the struggle against reality and turning toward life with openness and courage. Through mindfulness and meditation, we learn to sit with discomfort and see it clearly. Through the wisdom of impermanence, we understand that all things pass. Through compassion, we treat ourselves and others with gentleness. And through each of these practices, we grow stronger, not in spite of our challenges, but because of them. So when the winds of life blow strong, when uncertainty or pain appear, remember the image of the tree that bends but does not break. Be like that tree, rooted in awareness, flexible in your heart, resilient through your willingness to be with life as it is. This is the quiet power of acceptance. This is the strength you already carry within you. Chapter 9. Practical tips for daily life. All the wisdom of meditation, mindfulness, and Buddhism is most powerful when it becomes part of your daily life. You don't need to be a monk or retreat to the mountains to benefit from these practices. In fact, the greatest transformation happens not during grand gestures, but in the small, consistent choices you make every day. This chapter is about bringing everything we've explored so far into the reality of your ordinary routines. It's about integrating mindful awareness and compassionate presence into the flow of your life, in the morning, at work, in relationships, and even during the most mundane moments. When practiced regularly, these simple shifts become habits, and those habits become the architecture of a more peaceful, balanced, and resilient existence. The first and most powerful tool is to create mindful rituals. Your morning is a perfect place to begin. Instead of reaching for your phone the moment you wake up, try starting your day with stillness. Before even leaving your bed, place a hand on your heart, take 3 conscious breaths, and gently bring your attention to the body. Notice the sensations, the temperature of the room, the weight of the blanket. Then set an intention for your day, not a to-do list, but a quality you wish to embody. It could be something like, today I will be patient, or today I will listen deeply. This anchors your day in awareness before the busyness begins. You can also integrate mindfulness into your hygiene routines. While brushing your teeth, bring your full attention to the act. Feel the texture of the bristles, the taste of the toothpaste, the rhythm of your movements. While showering, notice the sensation of water on your skin, the temperature, the sound. These are opportunities to return to the present moment, to practice being where you are rather than lost in thought. Even dressing can be mindful, feeling the fabric, the breath moving through your body, offering a quiet moment of gratitude for the day ahead. Mindful eating is another foundational practice that turns a basic necessity into an act of presence and self-care. Before eating, pause to look at your food. Acknowledge where it came from, the farmers, the earth, the people who prepared it. As you eat, chew slowly, savor each bite, and really taste the flavors. Eating without distraction, without phones, television, or rushing, can radically improve digestion and satisfaction. It also deepens your appreciation for the nourishment you receive and the life that supports it. Movement is another realm for mindfulness. Whether it's walking, stretching, or exercising, bringing awareness to your body as it moves can be incredibly grounding. During a walk, instead of getting lost in thought, pay attention to your steps, your breath, the feeling of your feet on the ground. Notice the colors of the sky, the sounds around you, the breeze on your skin. Walking meditation, practiced traditionally in many Buddhist lineages, is a simple way to embody mindfulness and reconnect with your environment. Work life offers countless opportunities for daily mindfulness. Begin by setting up your workspace with care. Declutter what you can, include something meaningful, perhaps a plant, a photo, or an object that reminds you of your intention. Before starting a task, take a moment to breathe. Notice your posture. Ask yourself, what am I bringing to this moment? Throughout the day, insert small pauses between tasks. Even 30 seconds of breath awareness can reset your nervous system and bring clarity. If you're feeling overwhelmed, try a micro-meditation. Inhale slowly to a count of 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold again for 4. This simple box breathing technique is deeply calming and can be done anywhere. Emails, meetings, and even routine conversations can all be approached with mindfulness. Before hitting send on an email, read it again with fresh eyes and ask, is this clear? Is it kind? During conversations, practice active listening, truly hearing the other person without planning your response or checking your phone. Offer your full presence. This transforms communication into connection and allows you to respond rather than react. In the midst of stress or emotional challenge, mindfulness becomes a lifeline. If you feel anxiety rising, anger bubbling, or sadness creeping in, try placing your attention on your breath. Ground yourself by noticing your feet on the floor, your hands on your lap, the sounds around you. Label your experience silently. Anxiety is here, or frustration is rising. This act of naming what you feel creates distance between you and the emotion. It reminds you that feelings come and go, that you are not your anger, not your fear, not your stress. You are the space in which those feelings arise and dissolve. Evenings too are powerful times to incorporate mindfulness. As you transition from your active day to a restful night, create a winding down ritual. Turn off screens at least 30 minutes before bed. Dim the lights. Engage in activities that calm your nervous system, stretching, journaling, reading, or simply sitting in silence. Gratitude journaling is especially effective. Write down 3 things you're grateful for each night. They can be simple: a smile from a stranger, a warm cup of tea, a moment of peace. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, creating a more contented and restful state of mind. If you're someone who struggles with sleep due to an overactive mind, body scan meditation or guided sleep meditations can be incredibly helpful. They guide your attention gently through the body, releasing tension and quieting mental chatter. As you drift off, remind yourself that this day is complete. There's nothing more to do. You are safe. You are enough. This creates a nurturing mental environment that supports deeper, more restorative sleep. Mindfulness also extends into your relationships. Every interaction is an opportunity to practice compassion, patience, and presence. When someone is speaking to you, really listen. When someone is upset, breathe before responding. When you're feeling defensive or triggered, recognize the sensation before reacting. Ask yourself, is what I'm about to say helpful? Is it necessary? Is it kind? These reflective questions build emotional intelligence and foster deeper trust and connection with others. In Buddhist practice, there's a strong emphasis on the power of intention. Begin your week or even each day by setting a conscious intention. This doesn't have to be elaborate. Something like, today I choose to slow down, or I will meet challenges with curiosity, can reframe your entire experience. Intentions act as internal compasses, helping you return to your center when life pulls you in different directions. And don't forget the importance of digital mindfulness. Our devices are tools, but when left unchecked, they can dominate our attention and fragment our focus. Practice digital hygiene, set boundaries around screen time, designate tech-free periods during your day, and be conscious of the information you consume. Ask yourself, is this nourishing me or depleting me? Choose digital content that uplifts, educates, or inspires, rather than agitates or distracts. Protect your attention. It's one of your most valuable assets. Another useful practice is environmental mindfulness. The spaces we inhabit influence our state of mind. Create an environment that supports presence and calm. Keep a clean, organized space where possible. Light a candle, display something beautiful or meaningful. Let your surroundings reflect the qualities you wish to cultivate within yourself. Your outer space can become a mirror of your inner intention. One of the most overlooked but potent tools is mindful speech. Your words carry energy. Notice how often you speak without thinking, complain out of habit, or fill silence unnecessarily. Begin to practice speaking less and listening more. When you do speak, do so with care. Ask yourself if your words align with your values. Over time, this conscious use of language fosters clarity, connection, and harmony in your interactions. Ultimately, mindfulness in daily life is about creating space. Space to choose your response, space to feel your emotions without being overwhelmed, space to live more fully and intentionally. You don't need hours of meditation each day to live mindfully. It's about returning to awareness again and again in small ways throughout the day. Over time, those small acts compound into deep transformation. In summary, bringing mindfulness, meditation, and Buddhist teachings into daily life doesn't require drastic change. It requires consistency, gentleness, and presence. From the moment you wake up to the moment you close your eyes. At night, there are countless opportunities to pause, breathe, and reconnect. Choose 1 or 2 practices to begin with. Let them take root. Be patient with yourself. You're not trying to perfect your life. You're learning how to be present for it. That presence is your true power. In the next chapter, we'll bring it all together with a guided meditation to help anchor these teachings in experience. Until then, continue to walk gently, live intentionally, and trust in the unfolding of your practice. One breath, one moment, one step at a time. Chapter 10, Guided Meditation Practice. Welcome to this guided meditation. This final chapter is a space to bring together everything we've learned, to experience it not just as knowledge, but as embodied wisdom. You've walked through the foundational teachings of Buddhism, the practices of mindfulness and meditation, and the art of cultivating compassion, resilience, and presence. Now, it's time to turn inward, to sit with yourself, to be still, to rest in the quiet strength of your own awareness. This meditation is not about doing, it's about being fully here, fully you, exactly as you are. You don't need to be perfect, you don't need to try. All you need is your breath, your body, and your willingness to show up. So find a comfortable position, seated on a cushion or chair, or lying down if that feels best for you. Let your hands rest gently on your lap or by your sides. Close your eyes if that feels safe. If not, just soften your gaze. There's nowhere to go, nothing to achieve. You are here, and that is enough. Let's begin with the breath. Gently bring your attention to the sensation of breathing. Feel the air entering your nose, moving through your throat, filling your lungs. Then feel it leaving, slowly, steadily. Don't change anything, don't force the rhythm, just notice. Your breath is your anchor. It connects you to this moment, it brings you home. Take a few deep breaths now, allowing the inhale to fill your lungs completely, and letting the exhale be slow, full, and releasing. With each breath out, invite your body to soften, feel your shoulders drop, let your jaw unclench, let your belly relax. Allow gravity to hold you. You don't need to hold yourself up right now. Let the earth carry your weight. Now gently scan through your body, starting at the top of your head, without judgment or expectation. Simply notice any sensations you find, the temperature of the air on your skin, the subtle pulsing in your temples. Move your attention down through your face, your jaw, your neck and shoulders. If you notice tension, meet it with curiosity, not resistance. Allow it to be there, just feel it. Continue down through your chest. Notice your heart beating, the rise and fall of your breath. Perhaps you feel warmth, tightness, openness. There is no wrong experience here. Keep moving your awareness slowly down through your belly, your hips, your thighs, knees, and all the way to your feet. If your attention wanders, simply bring it back, over and over. We begin again. Now bring your attention back to the breath. Feel it moving in and out of your body. Feel how each breath is different from the last. Feel how your breath supports you moment by moment without asking for anything in return. Let yourself be held by the rhythm of breathing as if you are resting in the arms of the present. And now gently shift your awareness to the heart. Place a hand on your chest if that feels right. Begin to silently repeat phrases of loving kindness. First, offer them to yourself. You don't need to force the feeling. Just offer the intention that may I be safe, that may I be healthy, that may I be happy, that may I live with ease. Let each phrase be like a stone dropped into a still pond, rippling softly through your body, your breath, your being. Even if there's doubt, even if there's pain, offer the words with tenderness. May I be safe, may I be healthy, may I be happy, may I live with ease. Now bring to mind someone you love. Picture their face. Feel the warmth of your connection. Offer them the same phrases. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live with ease. Next, expand your circle of compassion. Picture someone neutral, maybe a stranger you saw today, someone you passed in the street, someone whose life you know nothing about yet who, like you, carries joys and sorrows. Wish them well. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live with ease. Now, if you feel ready, bring to mind someone you find difficult, someone you may have conflict with or unresolved feelings toward. This can be challenging, so go gently. See if you can soften just a little. You are not condoning harm, you are releasing yourself from the grip of anger or resentment. Offer them these phrases, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live with ease. Finally, let the circle widen. Let it grow to include your family, your friends, your neighbors. Let it expand beyond borders, across oceans and continents. Include every being, animals, plants, strangers, enemies, children, elders, those suffering, those rejoicing, every life, every breath, every heart. Silently repeat, may all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be happy. May all beings live with ease. Breathe here for a moment, resting in this spaciousness, the warmth of compassion, the strength of awareness, the clarity of presence. Notice how your body feels. Notice the rhythm of your breath. Notice the quiet that lives beneath all the noise. That quiet is always here. That quiet is you. Now gently begin to return to the room. Feel your body resting where it is. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Take one final deep breath. And as you exhale, allow a sense of gratitude to fill your heart. Gratitude for this moment, for your effort, for the courage it takes to turn inward. You've taken a powerful step toward greater mental strength, resilience, and peace. When you're ready, open your eyes. Let your gaze be soft. Let yourself arrive fully in the here and now. You may feel different, or you may feel exactly the same. That's okay. What matters is that you showed up, that you made space for yourself, and that space will stay with you long after this meditation ends. In summary, guided meditation is not about escaping life. It's about returning to it with greater presence and clarity. It trains your mind, strengthens your heart, and softens your resistance. Whether you meditate for 5 minutes or 50, what matters is consistency. Let this practice be a refuge you return to again and again, not as an obligation, but as an offering to your own well-being, an offering to the world around you. Meditation, mindfulness, and Buddhist wisdom are not abstract ideals. They are living, breathing practices. They belong not just in books or temples, but in your living room, your workplace, your relationships, and your breath. They meet you in the chaos and in the quiet. They remind you who you are beneath the layers of stress, fear, and conditioning. So as you move forward, carry this practice with you. Let it shape how you speak, how you listen, how you walk through your days. Let it remind you that no matter what life brings, there is a place of stillness within you, a place of strength, a place of deep peace. Return to that place often, tend to it gently, and trust that everything you need is already within you. Thank you for joining me on this journey, a journey not of escape, but of return, a return to your breath, a return to your body, a return to your awareness and the quiet strength that has always lived within you. Over the course of this experience, we've explored powerful teachings and practical tools drawn from meditation, mindfulness, and Buddhism, timeless traditions that meet the challenges of modern life with compassion, clarity, and grace. We've uncovered what it truly means to be mentally strong, not invulnerable or unshakable, but grounded, aware, and open-hearted in the face of life's complexity. We've looked at suffering not as something to fear, but as something to understand. We've explored the breath as a constant companion, a guide back to the present. We've examined the roots of stress, the patterns of the mind, and the way compassion, especially for ourselves, can be a source of healing and resilience. More importantly, we've practiced. We've sat together in stillness. We've returned to the breath, to the body, to the moment. And in doing so, we've taken real, meaningful steps toward creating a life that feels more intentional, more connected, and more peaceful. But this is not the end. In fact, it's only the beginning. The insights you've gained and the practices you've tried, these are seeds. And like any seed, they need time, care, and consistency to grow. Keep tending to them. Even if it's just a few minutes a day, even if it's just one mindful breath, in the middle of a busy afternoon, know that every moment of awareness counts. Every moment you return to yourself is a step forward. There will be days when it feels effortless and days when it feels far away. That's part of the journey. Be gentle with yourself in those moments. Remember that you are not alone, that others are walking this same path, that every small act of presence and kindness creates ripples that extend far beyond what you can see. If this video has brought you peace, insight, or encouragement, I invite you to carry that forward. Share it with others who may benefit. Revisit chapters whenever you need a reminder, a pause, or a breath of calm. This is your space, your moment to reconnect whenever you choose. From my heart to yours, thank you for showing up. Thank you for being curious. Thank you for choosing to explore the strength and softness that coexist within you. May you continue to walk your path with courage, with grace, and with a deep sense of presence. Until we meet again, take care of your mind, nurture your heart, and trust the wisdom that's already inside you. And remember, you don't have to change the world to make a difference. Sometimes the most powerful transformation begins with a single breath and a single moment of awareness. This is the Mindful Zone. Thank you for being part of it. Keep breathing, keep growing, keep going.